Hello and welcome back to this new video where we're going to talk about the dark side of Jupiter. So let's go. So why I wanted to do this video is because I saw so many video online, and granted I've done one too, so if you want to go check it out you can, talking about how Jupiter is going to bless you through this transit in Cancer. But I also wanted to have a reality check because, as you know, Jupiter expands everything that it touches, and like everything in life, and especially in astrology, there is not just such thing as, black and white. It's more like a gray, and to every light there is a shadow. So that's why I wanted to do this video and just break it down a little bit for you like this. You'll know and have some little warning about this year ahead. So let's go. So when this planet expands, it can sometimes make everything a little too big. So for example, too much spending, too much ego, too much hope, and I mean, hope is good. Like, I'm not saying like don't have hope and but be realistic. Don't be too much into delusion. So for this video, we're going to go house by house. So you have to know your ascendant because this is where it's going to be the most meaningful for you, obviously. If you don't know how to do that, you can go on astrosic.com, astro.com, astrotheme, and you can see your whole chart, and you can even look where Jupiter is going around your houses to see how it's going to impact you this year. So let's get into it. So let's start with the first house. I must say I'm a Gemini rising, and last year Jupiter was in my first house, and one of the bad things that happened with me last year is that I can't wait. It's horrible because I'm not here to do some sort of shaming or whatever, because it is absolutely not the case. It is fine, but it's just reality check where, yeah, I did gain like 10 pounds and it was impossible for me to freaking lose it. So I'm actually really happy that Jupiter went away and now it's in my second house. But anyway, this is the thing with Jupiter, is whatever it touches, it expands. So Jupiter in the first house gives you charisma, optimism, and like a lot of presence. Like, people will notice you, like people will stop you when you have like good charisma with people, and be like the person that shine into the room. People will notice you. Even though, like, to be honest, I don't think like last year I've been more noticed than before. But I guess that's just me. I don't know. But so what is the flip side of having Jupiter transiting through your first house this year? So like I said, you may gain more weight than usual, which is fine. Like, let's not, I really don't want to get into the thing where we're shaming bodies. Like, this is not, I'm just talking as facts. Like, this is facts, and it's okay. And if you want that to happen, then just, be careful. I was not careful, so now I'm just like, oh shit, okay. And then one thing too that can happen with Jupiter in the first house, which is, because honestly gaining weight is like literally not a big of a deal, but what is actually not nice, I will say, is that you may be over identifying with your potential rather than your action. So you can come as overly confident and even like a little sassy, even though that it was really not the goal at first. I would love for you, if you're a Gemini rising, to tell me how was last year experience with you, because to me, I didn't feel like it was like a great year, to be honest. Like, I was just like, I don't know, man, like it was kind of tough. I felt like, yeah, I had a lot of hopes and dreams and didn't really accomplish, and maybe I didn't put in enough work, and I just thought like, oh, people are gonna like what I do just because of me or something. I don't know. I don't even know if I felt that. I'm conflicted, but yeah, I felt a little weird, I felt like things were not working my way. Anyway, now let's go into the second house. So when Jupiter is going to transit into your second house, and yes, obviously everybody got excited. I even got excited about that because Jupiter in the second house brings financial success, luck, abundance. But you know what it also means? more spending. So be careful with that credit card and that shopping therapy, because yes, you may fall into the trap of being like, oh my god, look at this bag, and you just get it without even thinking, and then after you're in a bad situation because you overspend for the month. Talking from experience. Anyway, so you may also be too attached to luxury and material thing in an unhealthy way and equating your worth with what you actually are. Like you're not defined by your material position, and that's not good. We have to be detached from material thing. It doesn't bring anything good in our life. I mean, it's fun, but you cannot define your worth through the material thing that you own. It's not gonna make you happy. Honestly, you might spend big money on things that makes you feel important or abundant, but watch out because Jupiter doesn't know how to stop you. He's gonna be like, go ahead girl, do your thing. Maybe buy more impulsively. You maybe gonna wanna, maybe you're gonna have more luck and more money, but with more money you're gonna want to spend more. So at the end of the day, are you gonna make more money? Like, you need to be careful with the way you spend with Jupiter in your second house. So yeah, and then now let's go with the third house. So you might be thinking, okay, so the third house is about like communication, speech, thoughts, and like small travel. This year you're gonna be probably feeling like witty, full of conversation, wise, talkative, and like full of idea. But be careful if Jupiter is transiting through your third house this year, because yes, you might be prone to oversharing stuff that you really don't want people to know, but because you got like so excited and talkative, then you're just gonna reveal all your secrets. Girl, no. You might be prone to interrupting people, so that's not great if you're in your work setting and you just like start to interrupt your boss like every 2 seconds, and you don't want to get into trouble with that. You have to know that your voice doesn't have to be heard all the time. So yeah, you might be really inspiring to others this year, but don't forget to listen to other people and not overstep them and not interrupt them, and don't overshare to like keep stuff for yourself. You don't have to tell everyone your business, and you don't want the bad eye to like keep your business to yourself and talk about it whenever it's done. Don't do it before that, because I think like it can be tricky for you guys. Now let's talk about Jupiter transiting to your fourth house. So the fourth house is home, family. So this transit can mean a lot of big family gathering and just feeling happy in your home. And so this sounds like very heartwarming and like very nice and musical, but this can also mean you're gonna be overly emotional to the past and really recessing the past, just rethinking about, I don't even know if recessing is an English word. Well, you're gonna think about the past a lot and just maybe going into spiral about things that were done and nobody were talking about anymore, and just gonna, for some reason, something's gonna trigger it and you're gonna think about it, and it can like mess you up. Something with this transit can be like you're over idealizing someone from your family that that shouldn't be idealized. You maybe not be able to set boundaries with people that you should be setting boundaries with, and maybe like a sense of, let's say you were thinking about moving, well, and it's something that was really driving you to do so. With this transit, maybe it can be harder to create that home for yourself just because you're gonna be too attached to the past, to your parents. So yeah, maybe it's gonna be harder for you to move out. But I think it's not the worst. Like, I think Jupiter transiting to your fourth house is definitely not the worst. It's actually like pretty good, even though like obviously there's like this side where setting boundaries and all of things can be like a little tricky. It's not as bad as, like, for example, I would say the second or the third. So yeah. Now let's talk about Jupiter transiting to your fifth house. The fifth house is the house of love, creativity, pleasure, and new romance. You love, you love fun, you love creating beauty. But here, Jupiter can bring a sense of overstimulation. Like, you always want to go out, you always want to create, you always want to connect, you always want to, have fun with a lot of people, which honestly, this is super fine, at least in my book. But in the sense where maybe you're gonna get too attached and it's gonna break your heart a little bit. Like, you're gonna be just like jumping to a situation to the next, and just I think like this is also a placement where maybe you're gonna be like creating like situationships with people, and it's gonna be hard for you to be like, okay, I'm gonna, even if you really like them, it's really gonna be hard for you to decide on which one you want, and this can create situationship, and you know, honestly sometimes make you a little depressed. And also it's gonna be a year where you're gonna have major FOMO. Like let's say it's a year you wanted to like chill, you're like, oh my god, this year I'm just gonna chill. Girl, you're not gonna chill this year. This year's gonna be booked and busy. You're gonna want to go out, and yeah, you can overdo yourself. So definitely with this transit, be careful to self-sabotage. Yes, it is good to connect with people, and yes, sometimes people can bring you a lot of positive things in your life, but be careful that you don't burn out. And by just wanting to go out all the time, sometimes it's an act of self-sabotage, because we do need to rest sometimes. So yeah, just be mindful of your going out habit, and just like people that you are surrounding yourself with. Be a little more grounded. I think that's a perfect thing. You gotta be a little more grounded. Now let's talk about Jupiter transiting to 6th house. The 6th house is the house of work, daily routine, and also your health. So Jupiter transiting to your 6th house is actually really nice, because it really gives you a sense of desire. Like Jupiter has the desire to help you out. Transiting to this house, it wants you to be more organized, productive, helpful. Like you're gonna want to be those things, and you're gonna work towards it. But you know what is the dark side about this transit? Well, overcommitting, perfectionism, and burnout, because you're gonna be the yes man or the yes woman to everyone at work or in your social group, where you know you need to help out for something. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, of course I'll help you, but it's really gonna be too much. So you need to really set boundaries with that. So honestly, with this transit, learn to say no, because you cannot do everything you think you can. Like you need, let me hold your hand when I say that, you need to set boundaries. If not, you're gonna get overstimulated and burned out. Okay, thanks. Now let's go through Jupiter transiting to your 7th house. 7th house talk about relationship, partnership, and like commitment, like committed relationship. This feels like, you know, you're attracting a lot of love and maybe new partner, but like not in the sense of the 5th house, which is a lot of like flirting around and, you know, a lot of situationship and just like beginning of romance. Like the 7th house is really like committed relationship, and really attract like unbalanced relationship. Is the kind of like, maybe you're gonna find someone and they're gonna love bomb you, but because you're such in this like crazy time, crazy year where you're so ready to commit and you're so eager to love, that you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is my person, but actually the person is love bombing you. So you need to be careful with that, because you don't want to get into a year later where you really commit to this person, and then you show them to your mama, and then after they're like, oh no, bye. No, we don't want that. So yeah, be careful with this transit and people you actually commit to, and the partner, but not always relationship. I'm talking about also, you know, at work, and like let's say you want to start a new business with someone. Like be really careful. Like if it sounds way too nice, read fine print. Do you say that like that? So yeah, don't idealize the person. I know you're gonna be very optimistic and it's really good, but don't idealize the person. So yeah. Now let's talk about Jupiter transiting to your 8th house. The 8th house talks about sex, secret, transformation. It's the house of Scorpio. Just can be a little scary. I'm a Scorpio. And I have a Gemini moon, as you can tell. I'm a little quirky. You know, Jupiter in your 8th house, it means a lot of intense transformation and sometimes, honestly, emotional chaos. You may be having like obsessive pattern, attract like power dynamic and like power struggle dynamic, or dive too deep into things that you actually need to set boundaries for. You're just like jumping into it. It's kind of like the 7th house, but like even more intense, where you lose yourself into this. And honestly, like, it's a year to get into therapy, I think, for you guys who have Jupiter in the 8th house. And honestly, watch out for all the spiritual bypassing or trying to heal everything too fast. Now let's talk about Jupiter transiting to your 9th house. The 9th house talks about travel, beliefs, spirituality, and wisdom, and like education, like higher education. This year you're really gonna be thinking like, I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to take all those new courses and just learn a bunch of new things, which is honestly amazing for you guys. You can be a little bit like spiritually arrogant. And when I say that is in the sense where, yeah, you might be a little arrogant this year about stuff that you may think you know, but actually you didn't read the book all the way through the end. So definitely be careful, because you might be interacting with people that actually are very knowledgeable about this topic and you are not. And also be more open-minded. Don't be like, I know it all. I think staying grounded can help you too. And also I will see that, for example, happening is, which is a little scary, and I must say, I could see someone like falling deep into like a cult or just like a religion, which, you know, okay, it's fine, but when I say falling into it, it's mean like going way harder than you should be going into that, and like maybe joining a cult and being like so extreme, wanting to have some sort of spirituality and beliefs. And yeah, it gets like, honestly, it gets scary. So this is something I could see happening for some of you, so please be careful out there, because yeah, it's not cute. You know, don't believe for everything that you read, and also question yourself and don't think that you know it all. Now let's talk about Jupiter transiting to your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of career, reputation, and I know this transit speaks loud and girl boss energy. You want to be seen, you want to be successful and recognized, but here Jupiter can really make you take on too much, inflate your status before you're actually ready. So I could see something like, you know, you're gonna get a promotion, which is amazing, but you actually kind of lied on your resume and you really didn't think you're gonna get the job, and you got it, and you're like, oh my god, that's amazing, and then you got yourself in some situation where you actually really don't know what you're doing, and it puts you into a very hard position where you may gonna have to tell the truth to the person, like, okay, I lied, and that's not great. So you have to really know, like, be truthful to yourself. It's good sometimes to have a better position, but you really need to know what you get yourself into, not to get yourself into some sort of trouble. Not trouble with others, like, it's more for you, like, you know, it's like kind of annoying when you oversell yourself and it kind of worked, and then now you're like, oh fuck, this is stressful, like, I gotta do this job that I have no idea how to do it right. And yeah, so that's the little warning on Jupiter transiting to your 10th house. And now let's talk about the 11th house and how it's going to impact you when Jupiter is traveling in it. So the 10th house is related to friends, community, and future goal, and like the collective. You're gonna want to be around a lot of people, networking, wanted to share the same vision as you with people. And here is again a little bit like the 5th house, but maybe in a less crazy side, but more I think it's between the 10th and the 5th, where it's like you're gonna over network and having hopes to find like that person that can really help you with your career and stuff like that, and maybe like saying yes to every night after work and just like going out with people just because you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be able to network and socialize and find my people, and then it can be a little too much, you know, you're gonna be tired and you need to be more grounded. And yeah, that's what it means to have Jupiter transiting through your 11th house. And now let's finish with the 12th house and what does it mean for you when Jupiter is transiting this house. So the 12th house talks about spirituality, subconscious, and karma. This is like the most mystical placement of all Jupiter placement. Jupiter in the 12th house brings a lot of spiritual gift and introspection, but it also can mean escapism. So honestly, you may really avoid reality, develop a savior complex. That's really not great. I don't like that for you. and like romanticize like suffering. So yeah, it gets heavy in the 12th house. I feel like also you might feel alone, this feeling of not belonging, and you know, you really have, again, I'm gonna repeat myself, but you really have to stay grounded and know that everything that's happening is for a reason, and you probably need this kind of like hermit time for yourself, but really don't fall into the trap of escapism and romanticizing toxic habit or toxic people just for the sake of it, you know. So ground your spirituality in truth, not in illusion. So yeah, this is what Jupiter will do transiting through all the 12th house. I hope this video helped you have more guidance and also warning about, you know, Jupiter and what does it mean. And even though Jupiter brings a lot of blessing and a lot of good things through his transit, it also brings a lot of excess, and excess is not good. So yeah, I wanted to do a little video about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me your houses, leave me your rising sign in the comment, and I'll tell you what houses Jupiter will transit through this year. And I also do sell tarot reading and birth chart reading on my website, astrobestfriend.com, so go check it out. I also have a TikTok, astro.bestfriend, so you can go check it out. And I also have a Instagram account, which is @astrobestfriend. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!